from the High Court in the Western Cape, which has just delivered judgment in President Cyril Ramaphosa's application to interdict the Impeachment Committee from continuing with its work pending the outcome of a review application of the Section 89 panel report, which really got us here. Let's continue with the political reaction for you this morning, bringing now the ANC's Cameron Dugmore, who joins us now live from the Western Cape. And I understand the party has released a statement ultimately saying that they respect the outcome of this judgment and are now calling on other parties to refrain from political distortions. The question, I suppose, becomes how much of a hot political potato you reckon this can ultimately become for your party?
Thank you very much. I think what's important from today's judgment is that it actually provides clarity. We've had a view that given that the president has brought a review application, which, as you say, will be heard in September, that, the impeachment committee should have been in a position to say, let's let that process conclude and then, deal with the issues that the Constitutional Court has raised. So we note the judgment, we accept it, it's provided clarity. And I think what's important, though, is that for those of us that were in court, there weren't reasons provided. We need to study those reasons, because one of the issues that has emerged is, look, up to now, the committee has been doing a lot of background work, working on terms of reference, etc. The issue that the relief that the president sought was for the actual hearings to be put on hold. So, there's a notion that the president was trying to stop the entire impeachment proceedings, which is not the case. It was just a question of putting the actual hearing on hold so that the review application can be heard. Today gives clarity in that regard, and we as the ANC welcome that. And I think we are a constitutional democracy. We respect the separation of powers. We respect this decision, and we've also called on parties to respect this outcome. And this will, I think what's important to say is that sometimes there's a perception that this interdict application and the outcome was about whether the president is guilty or not. It's got nothing to do with the merits of the matter. It is simply a procedural outcome which says, wait until the review application, and then once that outcome is clear, look at the way forward.
You're right, we had to peruse these reasons, but in principle, would the ANC be happy with this committee, I beg your pardon, continuing with that background work, as you put it, until we have a clear understanding of what the full extent of this judgment ultimately means?
I think it's very important that, given we literally had a cryptic 3-minute judgment, that one actually does set aside time for members of the impeachment committee, for the legal services of parliament, to study the detail and then, look at it. We as the ANC have been very clear to honor each and every clause of the Constitutional Court's outcome. As you know, the court did not express itself at all on the veracity of the panel's report. The committee itself has, elected a chair. It has started the process of looking at an evidence leader. And those are issues which are very different issues to actually commencing with hearings. We as the ANC, for instance, feel that one of the issues we need to do is talk about a 2-stage approach to this, where those bodies that have already looked at this issue, whether it's the Reserve Bank or the Public Protector and so on, we should have a process where we call those people, we ask them questions about how they came to their findings and so on, and then we proceed further. I think this judgment is going to help us to develop a program of action, which at the end of the day will be credible for the process itself, to ensure that this process is fair and that we seek the truth through facts.
So is the answer yes?
I was wondering whether we're going to come back. I think, as I've said before, the committee has been doing administrative work. I'm reluctant to say we should just continue finalizing evidence leaders' terms of reference until we've had an opportunity to study. But I want to put it very clearly that the ANC has been part of the processes up to now, diligently attending meetings and going through these issues. Yes, we had a different view to the majority of members of the impeachment committee on this matter. in that we felt the review application should first be heard before formal impeachments. And you've got other parties, no, the president must come tomorrow, which is actually irrational and populist. So what I'm saying in response to your question is that background work is important, but let's study the judgment, meet as the impeachment committee under the chairperson, and then look at the way forward.
All right, I won't push any further. Cameron Dugmore, thanks very much indeed for your take. Appreciate the time. Cameron Dugmore, of course, is the ANC's programming whip.